Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful deck that plays one of the most nostalgic monsters in the entire game, the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like in your name description every single video, getting us signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. This card is absolutely an insane 3 of in the deck that is just really cool to be able to base a deck around. It's super easy to put on your side of the field and is an extremely powerful card sitting at 3,000 attack points. We then play 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. This card is really easy to put on your side of the field because all you have to do is reveal a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand to be able to instantly special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field. It also has an effect that once per turn, you can target a monster that your opponent controls and destroy it, but this card can't attack the turn you activate that effect, but it's still really easy to summon this card to your side of the field. We then play 2 copies of my favorite Blue Eyes card ever created, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. This card is a definite 2 of in the deck because you can actually roll their effects off of one another, which is really cool. This card has the ability that other cards that you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and you can only use each of the following effects this card once per turn, and you can only activate them while Blue Eyes White Dragon is on the field or in the graveyard. If a card on the field is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard or your hand, which is a great effect to instantly get this card on your side of the field. And at the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can target one card that your opponent controls and return it back to the hand, which is a crazy powerful effect to just instantly bounce a card. We then play 3 copies of Dictator of D. This card is one of the best cards in the entire deck, and a card you always want to see in your opening hand because it has a really insane effect that while you control a Blue Eyes monster, you get to choose the attack targets for your opponent's attacks, which is a crazy powerful effect. It also has the ability once per turn, you can send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. And you can also discard a Blue Eyes White Dragon or any card that mentions it, and then target a Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and special summon it. This card is absolutely insane and a definite 3 of in the deck, and a card you always want to see. We then play 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. This card is a great 3 of in the deck that has the ability that when this card is normal summon, you get to add a light level 1 tuner monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. And you can also discard this card and then target an effect monster that you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon out a Blue Eyes monster from your deck, which is a great effect to instantly get Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes Jet Dragon onto your side of the field. We then play 2 copies of the White Stone of Ancient. I feel like 2 copies is totally fine in this particular deck. I don't feel like you need any more than 2 of this card because it is searchable off your copy of Sage, but it has a really good effect that once per turn during the end phase, and this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon out a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can also banish this card from your graveyard and then target a Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand, which is a great effect to instantly get a copy of a Blue Eyes monster back to your hand. We then play a single copy of the White Stone of Legend. The White Stone of Legend is a really cool card because if this card is sent to the grave, you get to add a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. We then play a single copy of Chaos Dragon Levinair. This card is a really awesome 1 of in the deck that is searchable off of Melody of Awakening Dragon and Chaos Space, which is really cool. But this card can be summoned to your side of the field by banishing a total of 3 light or dark monsters from the graveyard, and depending on what you banish to special summon out this card, it gains different effects. If you only banish light monsters, you get to special summon a monster from your graveyard in defense position. If you only banish dark monsters, you get to shuffle a random card from your opponent's hand back in the deck. But if you banish both light and dark, you get to destroy up to 2 cards on the field, which is a really good effect just to pop 2 cards. We then play a single copy of White Dragon Wyvern Buster and a single copy of Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. These are really good 1-ofs in the deck that you can basically summon to your side of the field extremely easily by either banishing a light monster or a dark monster to be able to summon them out to the field. And when they leave the field, you get to search the other one, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of Star Liege. Star Liege is a great 1-of in the deck just to be able to search the deck deck is just a really good one-of in this build. We then play 2 copies of the Bystial Lubellion. Bystial Lubellion is a great searcher in the deck and has a really good effect that it cannot be normal summon or set. It must be special summon from your hand or graveyard by attributing a level 6 or higher Dark Dragon monster. And you can only special summon this card once per turn this way. And you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add a Bystial monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. And during the main phase, while this card's on the field, you can place a branded continuous spell or trap from your deck face up on the field, which is a really cool effect. We then play 3 copies of Magnamut. Magnamut is a really cool 3 on the deck because it actually searches any dragon in the game, which is really cool. Now, all of your Bystial level 6 monsters share a common effect that you can target a light or dark monster in either graveyard and banish it, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand, and it's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. And if this card is special summoned, you can activate this effect that during the end phase of this turn, you get to add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is extremely powerful in a Blue Eyes deck because you have so many dragons in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Solnir. Solnir is really good as a 3 on the deck, basically just to get your copies of your cards in the graveyard, because it has the ability, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to send a Bystial monster or a branded spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard, which is really good to get your copy of Lubellion in the graveyard so you can summon it back. We then play just a single copy of Druis Worm. Druis Worm is just a one-of in this particular build, but it's a really good one-of because if this card is sent from the field to the grave, you get to target a special summon monster that your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard, which is a really good effect. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we are playing a single copy of Ultimate Fusion. This card is super good in this deck because it has the ability that during the main phase, you get to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extract that mentions a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as material by shuffling the fusion materials listed on it from your hand, field, or graveyard into the deck. Then you can destroy face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons used as material from the field, which is just really good to be able to pop multiple cards on the field, while also summoning out extremely powerful boss monsters like Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. We then play a single copy of Branded Regained. Branded Regained is really cool to work with the Bystial cards we're playing in the deck, because if a light or dark monster is banished except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters, place that monster on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw a card, which is a pretty good effect. And once per turn, if your opponent normal or special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can target a Bystial monster in the graveyard and special summon it, which is an extremely powerful effect. We then play 3 copies of the Melody of Awakening Dragon. The Melody of Awakening Dragon is a really cool 3 of them in the deck, and this card just helps you search out your copies of your big dragon monsters, because it has the ability to discard a card, and then add up to 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. We then play 3 copies of Chaos Space. Chaos Space is really good in this deck because it has the ability to send a light or dark monster from your hand to the graveyard and add a light or dark monster that cannot be normal summoned or set with a different attribute than the monster you discarded for this card's effect, which is a really good effect just to be able to add any of our cards like Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon or even the Bystial Lubellion from deck to hand, which is just really cool. But you have to add either a level 4 or 8 monster, which is really cool, or a monster in between those levels. But this card is a really good graveyard effect because if this card is in the graveyard, you can target one banished light or dark monster that cannot be normal summoned or set and place that monster on the bottom of the deck and then draw a card. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is just really good in this deck to be able to dig into the deck to get the exact cards that you need to OTK the opponent. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're only going to be playing a single trap in the deck, and this is going to be a single copy of Branded Beast. Branded Beast is a really good one in the deck that's super easy to put on your side of the field with your copy of Lubellion. But once per turn, during the main phase, if you control a Bystial monster, you can tribute a dragon monster and then target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. And during the end phase, you can target a branded continuous spell or trap in the graveyard and place it face up on the field, which is a really cool effect to be able to get your copy of Branded Regained onto your side of the field. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon is a really cool card that's super easy to summon in this particular deck and locks down the graveyard because neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time. And once per turn during either player's turn, when an effect of a card in the graveyard is activated, you can negate the activation, which is a great effect to be able to lock down tier limit. And during either player's turn, you can tribute this single summon card to be able to special summon a light dragon single monster from your extract in defense position, except another copy of this card, but destroy it during the end phase of this turn, which is not that big of a deal because we're always going to be summoning out our copy of Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, which is a really cool card that just basically has a really awesome effect. If this card is special summoned until the end of the next turn, neither player can target dragon monsters that you currently control with card effects, and also they cannot be destroyed by card effects, basically meaning that this card will not be destroyed by Spirit Dragon's effect. It also has a great effect to be able to get your copy of Blue Eyes onto the side of the field, because once per turn, during your standby phase, you can target a normal monster in the graveyard and special summon it. We then play a single copy of Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, which is another card that we can actually summon off Spirit Dragon's effect, which is really cool. And this card is just really good right now because if this card is special summoned or a level 5 or higher monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls and return that target back to the hand, which is a great effect. We then play a single copy of number 38. Number 38 is really good in this deck because it does negate spell effects, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of the Hieratic Dragon King of Atum. This card works extremely well with the Bystial monsters, especially in a dragon deck, because once per turn you can detach a material from this card to be able to special summon a dragon monster from your deck, but make its attack and defense 0, which is a great effect to just instantly get a dragon monster on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Wallow. Wallow is really good as a 1-of in this deck. It's really easy to make, but it is a zombie card. But this card is a really good effect that monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each card in your opponent's graveyard. And quick effect, you can target one card in your opponent's graveyard and detach 1 or 2 materials from this card and then activate the appropriate effect. If you detach 1, you get to return the card back to the deck, but if you detach 2, if this target, it has the ability that if the target is a monster, you get to special summon that face up or face down defense position to your side of the field, which is a pretty good effect. I really love this card in this deck, and it's just a really awesome card. And if it's not a monster, you set it to your field. We then play a single copy of Double A Zeus. Double A Zeus is a really good card in this particular deck to be able to board wipe the field, and it's just a great card overall in this deck. We then play a single copy of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon is insanely powerful and has a really good effect that it must either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extract by attributing one Blue Eyes Wire Dragon equipped with a fusion monster. It's unaffected by all trap effects, and this card can attack all monsters that your opponent controls once each, which is really cool about this card, and it's a great card to be able to summon with Ultimate Fusion because it just takes a Blue Eyes White Dragon plus any dragon monster. We then play a single copy of Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. This card is a really awesome monster that your opponent cannot target or destroy this card with card effects, and once per turn you can target a card that your opponent controls and destroy it, but if you use a Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon to fusion summon this card, you can target up to 3 cards that your opponent controls instead. And this card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect, but it's a 4,500 attack point monster that can pop upwards of 3 cards on the field. We then play a single copy of Access Code Talker, which we did pull out the Starlight for this particular profile, so definitely give us a like for that. But this card is really easy to put on your side of the field, an awesome boss monster, and just really awesome to pop multiple cards on the field. We then play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, 1 copy of IP Masquerena to be able to make Unicorn during the opponent's turn, and 2 copies of the Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. This card is one of the best cards in the entire extract that we're summoning all the time, and it's really good because once per opponent's turn, if those cards in the extra monster zone, quick effect, you contribute a monster from your hand or field and return 1 face-up card on the field back to the hand. And if this card is tributed, you get to special summon out a dragon monster from your hand or deck, but it makes its attack and defense 0, which is just a great effect for this card to have to instantly put a dragon on your side of the field and pop a card, or spin a card, excuse me. We then play a single copy of Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon is just really good to be able to work with your copies of your black and white dragon, to be able to link one of them away and summon out this card to be able to search the other one and then banish one from the graveyard to be able to summon out your copy of your Hieratic Seal by linking away the copy of Striker Dragon in either the black or white dragon, which is really cool. So That's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Blue Eyes White Dragon before, you definitely should give this deck a try, because it's one of the most nostalgic decks in the entire game, and just super fun to be able to play with. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.